What's going on, YouTube? Good to be back. I'm just here with another question again. You know, as a vegan, I ask myself often, do people really care about, the germs and the bacteria that they come into contact with? For example, if you knew somebody of the opposite gender and you were attracted to them, but you find out that they had a bacterial disease or an infection or some sort of transmitted whatever, would you let someone inside of you, or would you want to be inside of somebody intimately when you knew that they had, let's just say, an excess amount of bacteria? They have herpes and they have syphilis and gonorrhea. Because let's be real, we don't want to share that intimacy with someone that is unclean. These questions about health and safety basically come up when we're talking about germs and bacteria and choosing a partner especially. Now, I already know that most people are going to say, yeah, they do care about the hygiene, they do care about the bacteria and the filth, especially when it's in a romantic and intimate setting. You know what I mean? You want to be very guarded and you want to protect your temple against, free radicals, outside invasions of bacteria and germs and all of that. Well, what I'm about to show you right now is undeniable proof that if you care about that external bacteria getting into your body, that the best way to mitigate that risk of you becoming infected or ill is to go vegan. Switch to a plant-based diet. Y'all, look at this. When I saw it, I was floored, and I'll explain to you exactly how important this is and what connotations it has for you and your family moving forward.
Better Life is a unique line of cleaning products. Take raw chicken and we're going to spread it across this piece of countertop. Now I'm going to swab that surface. Any reading over 200 is a dirty surface. We get 8,840. Tim is going to take this leading brand chemical cleaner. I'm going to swab that side and we get a reading of 433. Any reading over 200 is a dirty surface. Now I want Tim to clean this side of the countertop. To swab that surface, 44.
Okay, now you all saw that. That is very disgusting to me, okay? The strongest cleaner on the market today can't even take that bacterial number down to the number that, these gentlemen have created with their cleaning product. But that leaves one question. What about your cutting boards and what about your countertops? Now, if you're using a wooden or like a bamboo cutting board, then its fibers and its pores, all the bacteria is going to seep in there and it's going to absorb. And if you don't wash it correctly, which we're not doing, it's been confirmed, then those bacteria will get inside of the fibers of the wood and they'll fester and they'll start to grow and multiply, okay, which can possibly leave you very sick, you and your family, especially if you have little ones, okay? So if you have a plastic cutting board, it's going to get cut up so many times that you're going to have little plastic bits, and the way that these plastic cutting boards deteriorate is kind of like in layers, in uneven layers. So the bacteria can actually get under a lifted up raised piece of plastic and actually get under there and start to fester once again, okay? So once again, the meat is responsible for leaving that type of bacteria, that type of filth. And we already know that we cook meat to get rid of the bacteria. But if you follow my channel and you watch my channel, you will know that cooking it doesn't get rid of the eggs, and it doesn't get rid of all the types of bacteria and worms, which are pathogenic. Now, when I cook and I prepare food, do you know what I use to clean it? I use water. Why do I use water? If what I am preparing, if what I am cutting up for me and my daughter and whoever else is not clean enough right there to go into my mouth, and to not cause any harm, then why do I have to use a sanitizer on it? Do you see what I'm saying? You sanitize when there is harmful pathogenic bacteria there and microorganisms. But if it's a fruit juice, and if it's the juice from a carrot or lettuce and broccoli, I'm trying to think of something that that would be of substance to compare against the dead flesh. But there is nothing like that. So when it comes to cleanup time, and this is probably the number one reason that I appreciate going vegan for a selfish reason. You know what I mean? For external reasons, you have the environment and you have the animals and all that. But for myself, one of the things that I really appreciate is the cleanup time of when I'm cooking. I cut up the tomatoes, cut up the onions, cut up the lettuce, and then I run it under hot water and I put it away. Now, if it's something oily, okay, like nuts and seeds and avocado, I will use soap because soap is good for breaking down the oil. I use natural oil-based soaps and oil clings onto oil. So you'll want to go and get like an oil-based, like a citrus cleanser to help. But that's all it is to ward off the oil, that greasy feeling. With the cutting boards, after I'm done using it, I wash it with the water. And if it's oily or whatever, I'll put the citrus oils on it, and I'll wash it off with hot water, and it'll expand the pores of the wood, of the bamboo, and I'll wash it off, and then immediately you want to dry it. Right then and there, you want to dry it off. And then, maybe, I don't know, once a month, once every 2 months, you want to put a light coat of oil over it, like a grapeseed oil or avocado oil, something to keep the wood moisturized so it doesn't crack and split on you, okay? That's very important. So, I guess the main things to take away from today is how much bacteria is in dead flesh. It comes to you buy it at the store and it's already degrading, it's rotting, okay? Another thing is how much easier it is to clean when you go plant-based. Okay, how much safer it is for your daughter or your son to be playing with things on the counter and be putting it in their mouth, and not worry if it's contaminated with salmonella and this and that and the third. Another thing is, which is more personal, if you are cautious about engaging intimately with somebody because of, hygienic issues, then why would you put something laden with bacteria inside of your body, all throughout your digestive tract, affecting all of your organs, affecting your blood pH, your urine, all of that? Why would you host those bacteria inside of you? Shit, when you get it on your skin, you wipe it off and say gross. When you go to an egg, you don't wash the egg, you crack it open. But did you know that egg actually came out of the chicken's anus? The chicken, the hen, only has one chute for the egg. And the excretion chute and the rebirth chute, it's the same. Okay? So your eggs come out covered in excretion and the farmers wash it off. Okay? It goes under this big washer and it jets it down. Now, you might say, yeah, but it's washed off or whatever. But think about it. If you take, say, your sandwich bag, right? You put your sandwich in it, and you put it in your toilet, and you shit on it. Now, it's your poo. It's not some stranger's chicken poo. It's your poo. You know exactly what's in there, and it's your poo. I imagine you'd rather try tasting your urine over somebody else's. If I was to take your sandwich bag, put it in your own excrement, take it out, wash it off, sterilize it, and then give it to you, would you eat it? If a server came out and said, here is your food, sir, just to let you know, these hard-boiled eggs, they fell in the toilet, but don't worry, I washed them off for you. Is there anything else I can get for you? You would not eat that, bottom line, okay? But suddenly, because the eggs taste so good and I can't live without my eggs, which aren't yours in the first place, because it tastes so good, we're addicted, you will actually never mind the fact that it was covered in feces before it got cartoned. You will never mind the fact that a cow's udders are covered in feces before it's pasteurized and it's sold to you as milk. Now, if you're okay with sleeping with people that are obviously unhygienic, I mean, they obviously are not taking care of themselves. They've told you that they have herpes and they have syphilis and gonorrhea right now. You would not sleep with them, and if you would, I'm not going to talk about that. But what I'm saying is, most people, I think, are afraid of diseases like that, gonorrhea, the herpes, all that, the syphilis and stuff like that. Genital warts. You would never have that person in you. You'd probably not even want to make out with them thinking that you're going to contract something. You wouldn't want to, give oral pleasure to someone like that, let alone have them penetrating you. Okay? And then when you penetrate a woman, her juices get inside of your thing and everything mixes up. But you're telling me that you're going to go to this piece of flesh that is obviously laden with mysterious types of bacteria that you don't even know about, and you're going to cook it, and what's worse, you're going to give it to your children, and when you try to sterilize the counter for their salad or their little fruit cup, you now know that that fruit is going to be picking up the germs of the chicken that you just cut out on the same surface with a knife, even though the knife has been washed off. So do you see, people? Do you see why we're sick? Do you see why we're degenerating? Do you see why we live in a pristine part of the world? We're building up economy, and we can have your mail from the east to the west coast in seconds, and we all have internet and Wi-Fi, all that. It's all here for us. But we are sicker than we've ever been. We're the highest consumers of dairy, but we're also the highest victims of hip fractures and the highest consumers of calcium supplements. I say to you, please, not for the way I feel, but for the future generations, for this earth and for the animals, please consider strongly going vegan, fully 100% plant-based. And just the other day I ate something with a little bit of animal products in it, and I didn't know about it, and I felt not good about it. But what I want to leave you with is, as long as you try to get to that point, you will be making yourself and your environment healthier and safer. So once again, this is Master P saying, hey, eat to live, and think about them questions.